Welcome to season 2 of Your Name. This is episode 4. In this season, we're talking to people who have balanced their names to see how the new name has changed their thinking, their health, and the experiences that they attract. If you're new to this concept, feel free to review some of our episodes in season 1 or visit our website at www.cabularians.com. That's KABALARIANS.com. And you can get a free name report, which is a great way to prove this principle has a significant impact on your life. Our guest today is Kalaya Lovin. She's had a balanced name for 2 years. So thank you, Kalaya, for joining us. Appreciate your sharing some of your experiences with using a balanced name.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, Dakin.
So first question, how did you discover the mathematical principle? Was it something where you found us on the website?
I did. I was searching for baby names online, and the Cabularian Philosophy's website came up with name suggestions for babies. So I went ahead and explored the site. It invited me to put my own name in for an analysis of my name. And I did. I found the results interesting and accurate. I did find some truth to what the report of my old name was. And then it asked if I wanted a more balanced name. And I was interested in that because I was told when I was 9 by my parents that I wanted to change my name when I was like 4 years old, and at that point, I had asked them if I could change my name again. So I
Okay.
repeatedly brought up this subject to my parents, and eventually they were like, "When you're old enough, go ahead, change your name, but it's too much paperwork right now." About a year before that, in a church service, there was a sermon about changing your name and the power of the word and maybe having a different trajectory of your life based on a name that suits your destiny. So I was primed leading up to this time.
Interesting because I know there are a lot of name changes in the Bible,
Yes,
Abram to Abraham and Saul to Paul and all the rest. So they do show
yes,
the transformation of the name change. So I wonder if that's where he got the thought about the power of the word.
yes, absolutely.
The power of the word really is the power of language. Really, Mr. Parker did translate a lot of biblical passages to show people that the truth was hidden in symbology in the Bible. So again, we're not associated to any particular religion, but we look at the intelligent principles behind mind. And so they're all hidden in symbology in many of the religions of the day.
Yes. And at the time, I've always been just seeking for truth, as it were, not necessarily in religion. That's just how I grew up. I grew up in the church, but I've always asked questions, being a science major in college, and I like to read different philosophies and different religions as well, just to do some searching
You're
to
looking for the truths of life.
the truth of life. And after reading Cabularian philosophy's teachings, it resonated with not only my background, but with the curiosity that I've always had about language, about the force of creation that comes with speaking and just what power there is in our words.
And as soon as you recognize that when your parents named you, that created a pattern, a mathematical pattern that influenced in a sense, your thinking, your health, and the
Mhm.
experiences you attract. So, did it take you long to decide to get a balanced name?
Oh, no, it did not. It did not. After reading the name report, and I did go ahead to the next step, a name analysis of my old name, and then go on to the next step of getting a balanced name that would suit me. I just called the office and asked some questions that I may have had at the time about why are you suggesting this name? and they sent me to do some more reading on my own, but they did offer some guidance as well because I was like, "I'm a creative person. I wanna is this gonna change my musical abilities or" and I just let them know in the whole engineering of the new name what I would like to come through in my character when someone addresses me as my new name. And I chose Kalea after about a week of getting the name report. I just loved it. I had never heard the name before, and it just sounded pretty and it just ignited that spark in me.
So it wasn't a difficult process for you to change your name?
It took about 4 months to get through the court. There was some back and forth with the court, just asking to verify the reason I wanna change my name, and so I called the office and I was like, "What should I tell them?" They advised me, you could say for mental freedom, and I did, and the courts didn't have an issue with that as a reason, and just did a little bit of back and forth with the reason for name change with the court system. Full there have been challenges in encountering other people and just having them call me by my new name, family, friends. It took a while, but that's something you can't change, right? But you can only change how you see the world.
There are people who are, in a sense, going to want to hold on to your old name
Mhm,
because it's part of their thinking. It could be family. They say, why are you changing the family name? And that creates an issue. But what
mhm.
happens is that in most cases, almost all cases, once you demonstrate the balance that you bring into your life through the balance name, they come to accept it and they say, she's happier, she's healthier, this is a good thing. But sometimes
Yes.
there is that resistance to change, that particularly with certain qualities. You basically just have to say, if you love me, then you use my balance name because that's really what I want to create in my life. So it takes some convincing sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's just patience and just showing them that you are still the same person. You just
Yes.
have this new channel of expression of your mind.
Right.
Did you notice any changes in your thinking or in your health after you
Oh,
get the name?
yes. Yes. So I noticed a lot of back pain, to be specific, and eye strain that I had and low energy overall that I do not have right now. Like, I'm getting older. It's been 2 years, but I feel younger.
That's always good.
I don't have the back issue that I used to have. I don't need to wear, like, the heavier glasses or loops at work, the heavier magnification because I don't have that eye strain.
There's less tension in a balance name. And so
Yes.
it impacts on your health in whatever systems that are it's reflecting.
Yes, yes. It really did help.
Any other thoughts relative to what attracted you to the balance name?
I attended a historically Black college and university in Florida. I'm of African descent. So living in the minority group in America, the education, once you get to college, is eye opening as to how slaves were named. They're named by either their job description or their ability to do a certain job or just being branded by the master's quote unquote name. So that also encouraged me to go ahead and change your name to free yourself from this type of naming and culture around naming in the Black community as well. And growing up in Jamaica, I listened to Bob Marley a lot, and he has a song that says, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourself can free your mind." And so I did in my mind that one day I just want to. I studied psychology. I did my undergrad in psychology. So I just wanted to have a free mind.
The interesting thing about that song, Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery, is really the thought of creating mental freedom in your life. so that your mind
Yes.
is free from all of the restrictions and limitations of prejudice and discrimination. So
Yeah.
really, it's true for everyone, whatever their racial background, because
Yes.
we have to develop mental freedom so that we are free from, in a sense, the limitations of our culture and develop this
Yes.
broader perspective of life.
There is a broader perspective in life. And for me, having that balanced name just connected me to humanity as a whole. So, in essence, it doesn't matter your creed, religion, race, we're all one. And for me, when I balanced my name, it, I don't know, helped me get connected to that way of thinking.
In our course progression, we teach the mathematical principle in life analysis training, and then we teach people their cycles, and then
Mhm.
we teach people healthy living, so all the principles of healthy living. But the fourth course is most interesting. It's how to be mentally free. So
Yes.
that's the course that gives you the broad perspective of how do you control your emotions so that your mind is free. And that's part of the process that
I
every person has to go through.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love that teaching how to be mentally free. Now, just having this balanced way of thinking about the world, I don't feel as imprisoned or gullible to how society programs you to think as a minority. But having a balanced name just lines you up with your inner potential.
So would you
You can
say that
switch.
you're more confident now with a balanced name?
Yes. I am. The confidence in having a name that lines up with your purpose that liberates you.
If you had advice for someone who's considering a balanced name, what would you tell them?
I would tell them having a balanced name makes your thinking less imposed upon by the programming that you've encountered throughout your life. And there are a lot of things we don't even know about that programs us for education, religion, just the way we were parented programs us. Having a balanced name unlock your heart, unlocks your creativity, your reason or your purpose in life.
Really, when it comes right down to it, the balanced name is balancing your inner potential, which is that it's a universal potential to be an expression of consciousness. But really, it unlocks the, in a sense, the limitations and the restrictions of the old unbalanced name. Because the unbalanced names are, in a sense, it's like looking at life through a particular filter and it's all fuzzy. And then with the balanced name, you focused and now you can see things a little clearer.
Oh, yes. The more I've read, obviously, but also the more I've followed the philosophy, I've experienced what it means to be connected to others through that source of life. And when your heart is open to live out your purpose, you realize that purpose is one that is connected to everyone around you, to everyone else's purpose around you. Like we're all here for the same thing, which is to grow and experience life.
Mr. Parker had an expression, one life, one breath, one God principle. So
Mhm.
we're all under the same principle, whether it's English or French or whatever language. As soon as you attach language to the individual, they're going to reflect the mathematical intelligence of the name formula. And that is either going to be a restriction because it's not balanced, or it's going to be a freedom because it's balanced and allows that creativity, as you say, or that original expression of your spark or your spiritual potential. The theory is that with a balanced name and understanding the principles of life, then we can create the life that we want. So, again, life is a creative process. It isn't like a balanced name is going to give everything to you. You have to create it. It unlocks the restrictions that were holding us back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That has been my experience in the last couple years.
So, do you have any other final comments, Kalea, that you'd like to leave with the audience?
Yes. I'd like to share a poem and that's guided me. And it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can and the wisdom to know the difference. Changing your name is something that you can change. And having encountered the Kabbalion philosophy, you're equipped with the knowledge, you're equipped with the wisdom on how to engineer that name change, if you will, and just be courageous. Just take the step to make that change, because once you do, you're going to experience a freedom of thinking, a level of happiness and health that kind of turns the clock backwards. For me, I feel better 2 years after than I did a couple years ago in my health. And not everyone is going to be readily accepting. The ones closest to you may question you the most, but be courageous and be the one responsible for your own happiness. Take responsibility for your own happiness and your journey, and they'll see the difference that it makes in you.
That concludes this episode. If you would like to learn more, visit our website at www.kabbalarians.com, or you could go to youareyourname.com and it will forward you to the same place. Don't forget, you can download a free quotes app by our founder, Alfred J. Parker. There's over 400 quotes from 22 different publications that he wrote, and that will give you an insight into his teachings. It's free and available for both Apple and Android. Just go to their respective app stores and search for Kabbalarian Philosophy. Kabbalarian Philosophy is spelled K-A-B-A-L-A-R-I-A-N, Philosophy. Until next time, happy thoughts. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways we can help you. Number 1, the Balanced Name Recommendation Service. Join the thousands of others who have harmonized their names with their inner potential to improve their health, happiness, and success. Number 2, learn the principles of mental freedom. Participate in our online training program to gain the essential tools to create all the progressive changes you seek in your life. These proven truths will open up new perspectives and accelerate your attainment of health, happiness, and success. Number 3, let Kalex Solutions help you choose a balanced name for your business, because many business names are an impediment to one's overall business success.